All right, welcome to another episode of Storm King's Thunder, Monday night, 8:30-ish or so Eastern, as we jump back in to where we left off from. I was trying to count it up. I think it was 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, because we skipped a session, and it's been a while since we got to play Storm King's Thunder on Monday night. But we are back, and as you can see, we're still in the Eye of the All-Father here. And we're going to go ahead and bring our players back in. So where we left off, you had a fight down in kind of the Great Hall with a Remoraz, where our Barbarian was nearly lost, but through the actions of his party, we're able to down it before being swallow hold was fatal to him, and we're able to drag him out of the dying carcass. They promptly chopped him up and feasted, our last scene being on spicy Remoraz ribs, as they enjoyed the meal before continuing on. I assume that you guys are going to take a rest here. Were you going to take a short rest, or were you going to take a long rest? Do you guys know?
We were taking the long rest.
Okay, yeah. That's what I had figured too. So, okay, well, so tonight our players are back. We've got PB Plays Inside as our Ranger, we got Greybeard as our Barbarian, and we've got Logan as our Paladin. And we are missing our Spellsinger Ka'Fey, or Tigray, as everybody knew him. He's going to be out, so we're going to end up pretty soon here. His character will kind of exit, and then we will... we're going to bring the parties back together so that we have a nice big full group to continue on in the campaign. I see Sonic Blade joined. Good to see you. I'll keep an eye on chat when I can, but running the game sometimes I know Greybeard will chat a bunch too. So if you missed anything, you can check it out on YouTube. This is episode 54 that we're on now, but you can see episode 52 was what these guys had done last. 53 is what the Thursday night crew has done. There still will be a Thursday night game this week of our second team, but hopefully then we will combine the teams back together. We'll have a party of 7, and we will continue our adventure from there. All right, so we are in the temple. We will say the long rest has completed. Nothing else seems to accost you while you have actually a pleasant, probably rest, 8-hour rest, being near this fire that never seems to go out magically, or actually is being fed by natural gases from underneath the mountain area, and stays lit. So you're in a warm, nice area. Though the Remoraz begins to probably start to smell pretty quickly, and it's definitely something you wouldn't want to stay in the room for too long. So everybody's had their long rest, so you get your hit dice back, you get your spell slots and abilities back, and we are ready to continue our adventure. So, welcome back, and what would the group like to do? I see SirLucien joined too. Good to see him there. So, party members.
I'm just double checking real quick Ka'Fey spells. So, I believe we were going to go and monkey with the gate with the sigils. I mean the runes.
Yep. Now that we have the thing to put onto the to the statue, the weapon thing that we found last session. See what that changes, because it changed something, right? Have we done that yet?
We haven't done that yet.
Nope, you have not left this room yet.
Oh. Oh, well, let's go put the thing on the thing so we could see what happens.
The axe offering. I see Logan's already slinking away.
I'll move Harshnag.
Boldly going.
I'll move Ka'Fey too, since that shouldn't be a big deal. Oh, you can if you want.
Alright, let's just...
That's like...
There we go.
Alright, so just to recap on this area, because I know it's been a while, so I'll give you another description of it, even though we've heard this a couple times. So again, in this room, thick frost clings to every surface of this 100-foot-high vaulted chamber. 7 enormous statues dominate the room. The largest of them is an 80-foot-tall robed giant, his arms outstretched and his face hidden beneath a stone cowl, facing a glowing archway in the east wall. Kneeling in rows to each side of this statue are 6 statues half its size, each impressive in its own right, depicting a paragon of a type of giant. Hill and stone, frost and fire, cloud and storm. These smaller statues face the bigger one in the room's center. In their outstretched arms, 5 of the giants hold weapons, gifts for the Allfather. Only the frost giant statue is unarmed. And as you look at the archway that you guys are kind of near, the archway is a 40 feet wide, 40 feet tall. 6 different runes are carved into it. I did give you guys a handout that you can see in the handout section of the order and what the runes look like. Niches in the walls on either side of it contain empty, ice-covered, my favorite word, scones made of iron.
Sconces? Sconces, not delectable, yummy treats.
No, they're definitely delectable, yummy treats.
Treats made of iron. Good for them.
So that is what you see. Now, one thing I probably didn't, as I was going back through the notes, when you look at the mist, you see a very vague outline of a room that's beyond, but you can't quite make out details. It's almost like looking through mist or fog, and you just barely see maybe the shapes of a room, but you can't quite tell any details. So it's clear the portal leads somewhere else.
Ooh. Oh wait, I'm playing coffee. I can say semi-smart things.
Oh, can you?
Oh, can I? So did we? Harshnag gave the frost giant his axe back, right?
Harshnag has the axe currently in his hands. He's followed you guys into the room. He is carrying the large iron axe.
And I guess Coffee will look over at Finn as the spiritualist in the group and say something like, "So Finn, do you believe that the axe should be replaced?"
What other possible action could there be?
Agreed. Harshnag, if you'd be so kind.
Yeah, he gives you a nod, and you see him stride over to this one that looks like a frost giant, the god Thrym, and he places the axe upon the hands of the statue. He takes a step back, and you see nothing happen. Nothing seems to be different in the room.
Is there nothing to...
We looked over the runes, and Coffee couldn't make hide or hair of them, right?
He could not read them. They are runes, but they were not known. The only one that you were able to point out is Harshnag was able to point out the one that is the ice rune, I-S-E.
Which matches the shard that we have.
Correct.
Well, let's look at the... Oh, no. You said we had a handout?
Yeah, you should have a handout.
And nothing with the portal changed either,
Nope.
right?
Yep, nothing with the portal changed either.
Archway.
So when you're looking at the archway, the only one that you've identified thus far is in the bottom right corner. The bottom right corner rune is the ice rune, I-S-E, also known as the frost rune.
Oh, that is sweet.
and they glow with like a pulsing magical power to them.
Harshnag, what do you know of these runes? And he holds out the shard. Coffee, that is, holds out the shard, and like compares the shard to the ice rune.
The magic of my people are held within the runes. We will often use these to imbue items or objects with powers. Though they are rare, I am only familiar with the one, and he points to the one that's down at the bottom right corner.
Do you believe that this shard may allow us access? Or do you think, again, like the trap upstairs, this gate may be only passed by giants?
Yeah, you see him think for a moment, and he thinks that could be possible. I would expect that this room is where those supplicants who came to receive the knowledge from the Oracle would pass through this room. We obviously see the portal in front of us, and they must step through that portal. And he kind of walks up to it, and he puts his hand through the glowing portal, but you can see his hand touch the back wall as he feels the stone behind it. But how this mechanism works as he looks at the entire rune archway, that I do not know.
Perhaps you should touch the runes and see if they react to a giant's hand.
Alright. So he kind of looks at it, and you see him raise his eyebrow, and he says, well, which rune should I start with, then?
The one you know.
Alright, so he reaches out, and he touches the ice rune. And you don't see any change. They still pulse, kind of at like a slow, almost like a heartbeat pulse of power. And he places his hand up on the rune, but you see no effect, no change.
Was there anything on the archway to the gateway? Any runes on there, or just on the statues?
The runes are only on the archway, not on the statues.
Oh.
Coffee will say something like, Could this shard be used as a key? And he offers it to Harshnag.
He looks at it, and it doesn't seem to be like the right size, or it doesn't seem like it fits into anything. He doesn't think... he kind of looks at you and he thinks, I do not believe this is part of the ritual.
And Coffee bows his head slightly and takes the shard back.
Well, we have 6 runes and 7 statues. What about the statue in the center? Is there some supplication that perhaps a giant would have made to the center figure?
Well, there's 6 runes on the archway, and there are 6 giants holding out their hands to the one in the center, but there's not 7 runes. There's 7 statues, but 6 runes.
Yeah. Isn't that what I just said?
Oh, I thought you said 6 runes. Or 7 runes, I'm sorry.
There's 6 runes, 7 statues.
Right.
So perhaps the center statue is the key. Is the glowing object at the 3 o'clock point on that statue's base, is that something? Or is that just an artifact in the image?
That's just part of the map picture, yeah. that statue, when you look at it, the big statue in the middle of the temple is the bigger one. The statue's face is a mask of bare rock, bereft of facial features. It's twice the size of the other statues. So the 6 other statues are half the size, or smaller than the one in the center.
Okay. Well, are these runes at our reach, or can Harshnag only touch them?
Looking at the archway is as tall as a giant. So, I mean, you guys can reach the first 2, no. But it would be tough unless he like picked you up to touch, say, the top 2.
Okay, so I guess touch the rune, see if they react at all.
Okay, and you're gonna touch a rune? Which one?
I tell Harshnag because I can't reach all of them. See if if any of them react to him. If anything happens when he touches any of them.
Well, he touched the ice one. You want him to touch something else?
The other 5.
Oh, okay. I think...
Just to see if
yeah, so so he starts and he touches the... I'm getting the picture so I can see. So he touches the one above it. No apparent difference. The light still pulses almost like a slow heartbeat. He touches the one above that, and he touches the one next to it. Starts moving down the archway, and then he finally touches the bottom left one. And you've not seen any visible change as he has touched them.
Greybeard pipes up and says, "How about I just walk through it?"
I think you're gonna bump your nose.
Yep, I think you're just gonna hit that wall. I mean, go ahead. Feel free.
Fine. And then Coffee will say, Could the statues in order be the key to the way we should touch the runes? Hence, ice corresponding with the frost giant would be the last thing you touch. And the pattern would be... And then going around the room, the statues are what? Starting with the frost giant, it would be frost giant.
The first statue, Harshnag mentioned earlier that would have been the stone giant, represent the stone giant, Scorus Stonebones.
Okay.
Then the middle one is Thrym, representative of the frost giant.
Okay.
Stronmaus would have been the storm giant.
Okay.
Then it would down at the bottom, Grolanter would have been the hill giant representative. Surtur, the one in the middle, would have been the fire giant. And Memnor would have been the cloud giant. And they all, once again, just to read that to you. That's the archway. Where's the statues? Yeah, the 6 smaller statues. Yeah, well, 6 of these statues now grasp giant-sized weapons. The only one that had been missing until you had replaced it was Thrym's weapon, which was a Thrym's was a steel great axe. Gronlanter has the bone great club. Skoros has the stone boulder. Surtur has the giant iron greatsword. Memnor has a mithril spear, and Stronmaus has an adamantium trident. And they all seem to be presenting it to Anim, the Allfather.
There's no way any of those weapons might be in the wrong hands, is there? Like, are they removable? Aside from the stone axe or the axe?
Yeah, they all look like they're the weapons. They don't look like they're made of stone like the statues are. They look like actual weapons. Harshnag can walk over to one of the other ones as you say that, and he's able to pick it up, and he's able to place it back in the hands. It's clear that the weapons can be removed.
So I guess touch them to the rune would be my next guess. Or that corresponding giant. Or the rune that looks like that weapon.
Well, take the axe and touch to the ice rune on the arch. I mean, we know that's the only one we know for sure.
Yeah.
That's pretty clever.
All right, so who does that?
The one who can actually hold it and touch it, Harshnag.
Oh, okay.
Because we're all too weak to carry it.
Oh, no.
You have a dwarf that's
And
just
reach it
as strong as
especially.
him, but that might be true. All right, so Harshnag walks back over and he kind of raises his eyebrows. So he's like, "You want me to grab the axe, the steel axe from the statue, and touch it to?" And he's kind of letting you tell him what to do here because he's definitely out of his depth. He's not a religious type. He's not a cleric of the temple. This is like
So
asking
the
a
only
warrior
rune you
about.
know.
Yeah. All right, so
Touch
he's
the
going
axe
to
to the
touch the axe to the
Ice rune.
the ice
the only
rune.
one we know.
And you see him push it over, and then you see the swirling of the mist begin to coalesce, and you hear crashing through the entire temple thunder, as then you can actually see the room beyond, and it comes into a sharper image. It still looks like it's almost like through a mirror or like you're looking through water, but it's definitely a room that looks like a hexagon room with more statues inside.
Oh, good. Well, that did something. So I agree with Finn. Let's try to touch the corresponding. What happens when he takes it away from the rune?
It's the only one that's pulsing. The other ones are now kind of not glowing, and the portal looks like it has opened at this point.
Oh.
I'll stick my hand through it, like Harshnag did. Do I touch the wall behind it?
Nope, you can touch right all the way through.
Well, there we go.
Well, let's hope it
Thank
stays
you,
open.
Harshnag.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that was easy. And Greybeard strides forward.
Yeah.
All right, so you move into...
Staying close to Finn, because I'm still afraid of religiosity.
As everybody walks through.
Oh, you moved me. There we go.
All right. So you guys now enter a new room. Let me get to that spot in my notes. There we are. So, and as each person walks through, every time one person walks through, we hear the crash of thunder. It ripples as you walk through, and you can see flashes and lightning moving across the portal. And then as you walk beyond the thundering archway, lies a hexagonal chamber whose walls rise 50 feet before tapering into a 90-foot high apex. Standing in each corner of the room is a life-size statue of a giant holding up a heavy iron lantern with one raised arm. Each type of giant is represented: hill, stone, frost, fire, cloud, and storm. A cold, magical light radiates from each lantern, illuminating a giant corpse lying on the floor beneath a shroud of frost in the middle of the room. The corpse looks like it has been here for some time, preserved by the cold. Next to the body rests a giant, frost-covered morning star. What would the party like to do?
I will move forward slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way to tell how the giant died?
Seems to be frost covering on it. You can't quite see. Remember, each of these squares is 10 feet. So as you're moving 10 feet. So it's quite a ways away from you. The lights are flickering within the. You don't really get a good view unless you get a little closer.
Greybeard hesitates at the circle of statues, but Coffee will continue on with Finn.
Yeah, so as Finn gets at that square, you can see let's see here. So it looks like as you kind of walk up to it, it's definitely a corpse of what you think would be a cloud giant, maybe a younger cloud giant. There's a morning star to his right, and as you get that close, then I'm gonna pop out a handout for you. You see a spectral force begin to emanate from the body and then rise up. And it appears to be in kind of the same features and forms and clothing as the body it stands over now, and it's the size of a cloud giant. Rises up, and then I'll put that in your guys' handouts also. Oh, okay, so it's there. Save changes. There we go. So you guys should be able to see that. And in giant, you see the apparition kind of look around, bewildered, looking down at it at the body, as it kind of studies the body it's standing over, and then looks up to all of you. And then in giant, how many of you speak giant?
I
Me.
do.
Finn does.
Okay, so you hear him say, "How have you entered this room?" As he's looking at you that are not giants, and he looks to Harshnag, who has walked up. What is your business here at the Oracle? He says in giant.
Why did we come here again? What?
We seek wisdom and guidance. The ordning has been broken.
Sundered. Greybeard says, all proud of himself.
He says, yes, the Oracle had told me of this before. And you see his image kind of blink a little bit, almost out of existence and back. And it's like there was a pause in what he was saying. And then he kind of continues on. There's almost like there's a missing part of the sentence there, and he continues on. The breaking says, but why would you be here?
To find information, guidance to try and fix it. To stop all the bad stuff happening.
So you plan to speak to the Oracle then?
Yes.
Is there a way to fix what has been broken?
And he kind of looks at you and he says, I'm sure only the Oracle would know. And he begins to kind of walk around the room. Let me bring him on to the map here a second. I think it's that one. There we go.
How did you come to be here?
Yeah, so he kind of walks around and he's looking at his body as he does it. And he says, and he's paused. He's heard your question, but he's not answered you yet as he's looking around. And then he looks back to you and he says, "Many years seem to have passed, but I came here with my father. We came to ask about what we should do when the breaking happened. The Oracle told me that I should step out from my father's shadow. And he told my father that he was lost and beyond cause." And he walks around again. He says, "My father became enraged with the answer from the Oracle. And as I was not watching, he struck me from behind. And now you see my body laying there." And then he blinks out again as he's saying a word. And then he flashes back in again.
Who were you a noble of the Frost Giants or Hall Giants? Giant?
Storm giant.
Stone Giant?
Storm.
Storm, the other one? What was one
Yeah,
of
he
them?
looks to you and says, "No, we are but cloud giants."
Oh,
It was Cloud. I was right the second time.
What is your name, sir?
And he looks to you and he turns and he says, "Igaron." I'll put it in chat.
It's actually on the picture. I just.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Igaron is his name. And then you see a kind of pained look on his face as he begins to realize, "I do not see my father's corpse."
Igaron, son of.
Blagathkos. This is a tough one.
Black.
No, this one's a weird one. Yeah, try this one out. Blagathkus. Blagathkus. The THCUS is not a good. Blagathus. And you see him kind of get a little angry, and he continues walking, and he sees the portal, and he kind of looks like Greybeard's at the back, and he says, "Be aware that the portal only stays open for an hour. There is no way to open the portal from this side."
Oh, okay.
And he continues to walk around the room.
Important safety note.
Yep.
Don't cross the streams.
And when you see it, I'm missing one thing here. I want to.
Wow, he is larger than Harshnag.
Yeah, I think Harshnag probably should be his size.
Ah. Greybeard just slowly inches back.
Actually whistling, like walking backwards.
Well, they're not taking up that much space. I mean, they're just tall. I mean,
That's true.
that's a 15-foot diameter giant.
That's a 30-foot diameter.
Sorry, yeah, 30.
Yeah, and as Finn and Coffee, maybe Harshnag will stay here with you guys. You believe you see an etching in the floor in the center of the room. And it looks like it's under, it's been covered, so you didn't quite see it until you're kind of looking around, covered by a thin layer of frost.
And his body is not covering it, just frost.
It looks like maybe his body's covering it slightly.
Coffee would remember the ghost's name, and he asked politely would you mind if we moved your body a bit so we could look at this etching?
He says, no, please.
And then
Go ahead.
At that, Coffee looks back at Harshnag and Greybeard. Gentlemen, could you move the body?
Yeah, so although it's part of the map, it's not an actual thing I can move.
Right,
you're able to just slide it aside, and you do it, respectfully, and you don't see, and he just kind of moves so that you can do that. And then as you kind of uncover this circle, it appears to be just under a thin layer of frost, not too far down. It looks to be like a 20-foot diameter mithril inlaid circle, and it's inscribed with another rune, and then the words spelled out in Dethic, the Dwarvish script.
Oh, that's easy. What? Huh?
And then, Greybeard's nowhere near it, so you don't, unless somebody else knows how to.
Did you move? You didn't go to move the body, Greybeard?
Oh, I did. Okay. And I see the mithril?
Yeah, yep. And
okay.
It says, ask your questions and know truth. And Igaran says, yes, you can stand in the circle, ask your question, and the oracle will answer. Where'd that go?
How many questions do you get, Igaran?
He says, as many of the as lights you see in this room.
Okay.
And now on his body, as you're moving it, Greybeard.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Greybeard would notice.
Yeah, you see that he's wearing a golden breastplate. The Morning Stars is huge, the weapon itself. And the clothes are similar to what his ghostly shape looks like.
Oh, so tempting. No, Greybeard's.
Oh yeah, it's a golden breastplate.
Wow.
Something you would recognize.
Well.
And if once you move the Morning Star out of the way, also you notice it is a rune inscribed circle carved into the floor. Yeah. Okay, you guys got that.
Well, we have 6 questions. What should they be?
Did we already read this mithril circle?
The ask your questions, get knowledge.
Oh, okay. That's what it says. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I heard that right.
Mm-hmm.
Greybeard stays out of the circle so he doesn't say anything stupid. And Coffee is walking around the circle,
Okay.
methodically looking at the runes and pondering what questions we should ask, and he's looking back and forth between Ian and Finn.
So how to fix the ordning would probably be a good one. Though I doubt it's that easy. How smart am I? Yeah, I'm okay.
Finn's not a super big thinker either.
Greybeard says, "Hey, Finn, how about how to defeat that fire giant guy?"
Salto.
That's the one.
Who could be our allies?
Oh, very good, says Coffee. How to stop the forge, maybe?
Stop the forge. Yeah, that's probably a big one.
Finn's going to look up at Igaran and say, do you need to be released? You're a ghost in this place, alone forever. Is there anything we can do to help you.
You see him think, and he says to you, I am not sure, but maybe the Oracle would be able to tell you how to release me from this prison.
I'll save my last. This is like Aladdin saving your last wish to release the genie. Spoiler alert.
It's not a spoiler alert. I just can't cast exorcism yet.
Well, for the genie it is. Anyone who hasn't watched the Aladdin in the past 20 years. Let's see. So allies, stop the forge, fix the ordning. How did the ordning break? Is that something we should probably know?
That's good. I'm gonna walk over to Harshnag then and ask him if he recognizes those names.
Igeron or the other one?
Balgarath. Balg office.
Balsicus.
No, he does not. He does not recognize those names.
Blagothcus. That's my new one. How did the ordning break? Alright, we have one more. Technically two more if we really don't want to release this guy. So we get allies, stop the forge, fix the ordning, how the ordning break.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a big hairy eyeball if we don't ask that last question for Finn.
I know. We have one more spot. What else should? What like the?
Igorn listens to your conversation. He seems to be kind of just circling the room, and he's listening to you talk, and he kind of stops a moment and says, the lanterns relight once every day.
Oh. So we can come back here. It's really out of the way, though.
Oh. I mean, if that's a possibility, that we come back in tomorrow.
Yeah, we can say a couple of days, so...
Oops, wrong voice. Finn says, we could save the last question in case one of these other questions needs another answer.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm tentatively adding the last question as what to be wary of. Alright, I think we have a good list. We got like 15 minutes left. 45 minutes left, let's go. Unless anybody has anything else they want to do beforehand.
No, but I will ask Igorn how he came into the room. Did he use the axe that Harshnag used, or is there a different approach?
He looks to you, Finn, and he says, no, when I followed my father, he grabbed the... Good question.
Is it racially bound? Can a storm giant or cloud giant, does he have to use the cloud giant weapon to get in? And if a human does it, will a human even be able to do it?
He grabbed, it's a good question. So he says to you, yeah, my father grabbed the mithril spear. He then touched it upon the sky rune on the archway. That allowed us to walk into the room of the Oracle.
All right. So it's not that I don't think that we can try it again, but without another giant, I don't know if Harshnag could get in again. Or we may need another giant with us. So we should make these questions count.
Mm-hmm. Would you have an addendum to the second to last question? What to be wary of?
No, that sounds fine. I think having it open as a possible secondary question in case we don't get a clear answer from the Oracle on any of the others.
Mm-hmm.
It's an excellent idea.
All right. I feel good about this. Can well, they both stood in the same thing, right? Do we all have to stand in it? Can they only hear the person inside the circle? Can the person
Igorn mentioned that, yes, his father entered the circle when he asked his question. I entered the circle when I asked mine.
Oh. But you can hear the answer, right? Outside the circle?
He kind of looks at you. I assume you can. We were in the circle when we asked the questions.
All right. Well, I mean, it's big enough. We can all fit in there. Sure. I'm ready to go. Are the rest of you ready?
Do it.
All right. Well, here goes nothing. I step in, careful to avoid the body.
Coffee steps in with you.
Yeah, the body's been moved out of the circle.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's move the body back towards the gate. At a bare minimum, we can take him out with us. Give him a proper burial.
I agree.
Yeah, Harshnag will delicately move it towards the gate.
Okay, well. Everybody in who wants to be in?
I'm going to stand next to the ghost.
Yeah,
All right.
GB's by the door. He helped Harshnag if he needed to with the body, but no. Dwarves and giants, you know.
It's casual. All right. In giant, I don't know if I could do this in common, so I'll do it in giant. I say, great eye of the All-Father, would you answer our question? Okay. All right. Okay.
He says, you hear a disembodied voice answer. You cannot tell if it's male or female. It seems androgynous. And everybody can hear it within the room. And you hear the word, yes. And then...
Finn smacks his head. One.
Yeah. Oh.
Hold on a sec. And then...
Yeah, I'll wait.
I think this will work.
You gonna put a torch out? Do it!
You should only see 5 torches remaining. 5 lanterns lit. 1 lantern has gone out.
Son of a bitch, I just asked the question, didn't I?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Son of a bitch. Alright, I didn't want that second to last one anyways. What allies can we find now that the ordering has been broken? God, these are like wish questions. I didn't think ahead of this, guys.
You hear the voice. It takes a moment. This one seems to take much longer for the answer to come back. And then it says, many allies within the world you can find. Those in organizations you already affiliate with. Some you have not met yet. But many are willing to help you along your travels. And then you see another lantern wink out. 4 lanterns remain lit.
Feel free to ask when there's as Tigray. Coffee, Greybeard.
So we you don't say that out loud, I assume that was not in character. You just kind of look at Tigray.
Yeah.
All right. how may we fix the sundering of the ordning?
So once again, it takes a moment, takes a little bit for this to be answered. And then the voice says to you, "You must restore the lost king, Hecaton." And then another light winks out.
I'm going to look over at Harshnag for some kind of recognition on that name.
We've heard it before. When we got the story of the ordning and why it was broken from, I think, the wizard.
Yeah, and it goes on a little bit more, as there's a pause there, and then it says, "You must find a magic conch of the storm, which will take you to the court of the giant king. Root out evil therein."
A conch of the what?
Storm.
Oh, yeah. It would be the easy word I forgot.
And then it's silent.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm right taking notes. Or
Yeah.
PB asked the next one.
Yeah, sorry, I was doing the same thing. How can we destroy the reign of Duke Zalto?
Dun, dun.
You must stop Zalto from building the dragon-slaying Colossus.
I don't need to write that one down. I already fucking know that answer. Alright.
Another lantern winks out. 2 remain lit.
I mean, I might as well ask it. How can we release the ghost of Igaron, whom is trapped here?
You must slay the father who would slay his son. This is the only thing that will let Igaron's ghost rest.
I'll look over at him.
And then you see another lantern wink out, and you see a pretty solemn look on his face. And a little bit of a nod to Ian for asking the question of somebody that you've just met or that you have no connection with. You see kind of an emotion of gratitude flash across his facial features. 1 lantern remains lit.
Ooh. GB will say to Finn, ask Oigamon, like, after we're done. Don't forget to ask him where his pops is.
Well, as you're yelling that across the chamber, Igaron says, I do not know, for I fell here. Where my father is, I have no knowledge.
Where is your clan from?
Far to the north, in the mountains. He kind of has a confused look on it. He's trying to figure a way out to describe it to you without... he's like, I could show you, but then he realizes, but I can't. He's like, maybe I can describe it in a way at some point.
Well, you think about that, and I look over at Tigray for the last question. We can probably come back here.
Tigray looks at Finn since he grunted.
I'm at a loss. Are there... I mean... I think it's meant to kill dragons. I mean, I got fire giants on the brain, so... Are there... allies amongst the dragons that we could find?
Well, we have we're actually sort of close to them in there's the alliance with that silver dragon, and I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head, but there is an organization that is allied with dragons. Is it King Dagnabbit somewhere?
How do we court an ally? A dragon ally? Or what can we do to gain enough power to put Hecaton back on the throne?
Oh, that's a good one.
Where's the Conch of the Storm?
Oh, hey, Greybeard says it's a good one.
Alright. I look at Tigray and I see if he liked that last one or if there was one of those 3 questions he looked more agreeable with.
I would believe that's probably the best question.
Where can we find the Conch of the Storm to bring back King Hecaton to his lost glory?
You will find them in the clutches of one of the giant lords.
Clutches of one of the giant lords.
And the final lantern
How long have we been
winks
in here?
out. Probably, 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead, Igeron.
Igeron, should we bury your body? Is there a method amongst your people that we can do to place your, at least your physical remains at rest?
Well, he says, burying my body anywhere would be fine, though I feel I will only be trapped, as the Oracle said, until someone slays my father.
I think you are correct. However, lying in the middle of a temple with a grievous wound does not seem dignified in the least.
And the gorgeous golden breastplate. It would be a shame to leave it here.
The size of a sled.
Yeah.
He looks, as you mentioned that, he says, well, you have been gracious in helping me, or at least understanding how I may be freed. I couldn't have asked more of strangers. You may take the breastplate. I'm sure it will fit one of you.
I mean, 2 of us together, I'm sure.
It's going to be like a tent for us, a shelter in the wind.
He kind of smiles and he says, you'll see.
GB is already at the straps of the thing.
No,
Yeah,
grab a whole
as you
body.
unbuckle it shrinks in size.
All right, that freaks GB out.
It matches the size of a dwarf as you hold it in your hands as you've unbuckled it from the giant.
Oh,
Okay.
it's magic. We'll have Tigray identify that outside. If we cannot re-enter here without the aid of another giant,
And if you
What
guys don't
is-
have any lights, the only light is coming from the portal at this point.
I could see in
And-
the dark.
And the soft, beautiful glow from Nod.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
How rude.
Pay attention to me.
He also says, Igoron
I'm sure he
says,
goes a
so
little
yeah,
bit.
so he kind of mentions that, the Oracle lanterns will recharge in a day's time if you do not feel like you've gotten the answers you need.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Come back in.
examines the statues and the walls, and he begins to walk around, and then he tells Greybeard also, because he sees that the breastplate is in your hand. There's one more thing. He also mentions that no, I thought there was something else.
A magical property? Usually magical items fit the size.
I guess it's just that. I swear I thought I saw something else, but I think that's it.
I mean, no one's stopping you. You could totally add something else if you want.
Oh, I bet. So I think what we'll do is while our players decide what they're about to do, we will go on our 5-minute break, and then we will come back and we will continue and see what their next decisions are as they continue at the Eye of the Allfather. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
What do we have
Alright.
so far?
So we're coming back in.
We have. Yep, we have how to destroy Duke Zalto's forge, where to find Blackuthkus, the father of Igeron, where to find the giant lord with the magic haunch of the storm, where can we find King Hecaton, who or what caused the disappearance of King Hecaton. Those are the 5 we have going right now.
So, and you guys were discussing those as you had left the room with
the body.
The body. You were able to go. Did you want to go bury it, or are you going to take care of that at some point when you're leaving?
Do it during the day. I mean, we've got nothing else to do.
We'll do it right now. It's a big hole.
So you go back out the front. You. The only real place to go is back across the causeway into the snowstorm, and then on the other side you could find a place to just dig up, but it takes probably Harshnag and Greybeard using all of their strength to break through the frozen ground enough to then bury the body of Igorn. Clutched in Igorn's hand is another opal with an etched rune in it, and Igeron mentions that that's the rune of an Ild. ILD. Which I believe is the rune of fire. So that's the Ild rune of fire. And he mentions, and then Greybeard already has the golden breastplate, but you guys have those 2 items. And then you lay to rest the body of Igeron the Cloud Giant. The day kind of goes by. The only thing you notice is that in that hallway are still the corpses of the Barbarian Uthgard that you had fought before you had entered the temple. Their bodies still seem to be there and undisturbed at this point. As you return and take your rest, where are you going to rest at?
The warm place, the same place.
Okay, so yeah, so you take the rest of the day as you stay warm in the Great Hall near the fire. The day goes by. It's like a 24-hour day too, so it goes by without any cause. Nothing interrupts you or comes upon you during that time. Everybody would have a long rest again, not that that mattered, and a new day has come around.
We head back to the room of the Allfather.
Yeah, so again, the all the runes are lit up and they pulse with a slow heartbeat, and then Harshnag touches the steel greatsword, or the steel great axe, to the ice rune, and once again we hear a crackle of thunder and lightning as you see arches along the archway and ripples, and you're able to enter the oracle once again. And as you enter the oracle, you notice that all of the lanterns are now lit once again.
Well, let's get to it.
Yeah. I head back in, shockingly, to the same exact spot I'm already in.
Shockingly.
Shocking. I ask, how can we destroy Duke Zalto's forge? Or the forge of Duke Zalto. I guess same thing. That one's not on your list, huh?
Let's see. I just want to make sure there was a spot there. I want to make sure it wasn't about that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Destroying the pieces of any of the pieces, or many of the pieces, of the evil engine will destroy the Colossus.
Was it any or many? Was it both?
Both.
Or was it both of them? Okay. Because you said like 3 of them, and I didn't know which one you meant. The evil engine will destroy it. Okay.
And then we see one of the lanterns wink out.
Okay. Where can we find Blackus, father of Iagorn? I didn't write that one down. Iagorn.
The Oracle says to you, his shadow falls on Parnast.
Do we recognize that name?
No, none of you recognize that name.
Not even Harshnag?
Nope, not even Harshnag.
Okay, alright, that's fine. That's fine.
That's all right. Figure that one out.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just rereading my question, making sure I'm asking the right question. Where can we find the giant lord with the magic conch of the storm? It's just a magic 8-ball, and it turns around and just says, try again.
I'm trying to think of how you just worded that.
Where can we find the giant lord with the magic conch of the storm? I'm trying to be as specific as possible here.
All right. I'm gonna... Each of the giant lords have possession of a conch. You will find it in their hands.
What? So the magic conch was just to get to the court? It's nothing... Alright, you know what? Whatever. Okay, so...
I can see Ian say that.
Three lanterns remain lit.
Let's see. Who or what caused the disappearance of King Hecaton?
You hear the oracle say, he was misled by his eldest daughters, Mirren and Nim, who covet his throne.
Oh, shit. Same problems people have. That's so funny. People have these problems in just, like, lower level kingdoms where they get murdered by family. But in this case, it just caused, like, half an apocalypse. His eldest daughters. Was lost by his eldest daughters, who coveted the throne. I only have one more question. Where can we find? Oh, but go ahead.
Hold on. And Harshnag does mention that the giant lords, he would know them as Kayalithica, Sansari, Gu, Storvald, Zalto. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Copy, paste those, put those in the chat.
Yeah, I would really appreciate that one. Like a list.
What? That's like a lot of typing.
That's why I say copy, paste.
Well, it's in a table, not a sentence. Let me see if I can do
just
it.
Screenshot. I'd take screenshot also.
Yeah, that might work. Hold on. Let me try that. These, although it, oh yeah, the other one would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The sixth one is Hecaton. Okay. There you go. It's in Discord.
Mucho. Oh, how was I ever? I was never gonna guess that any of those. Okay, so Harshnag knows those. All right, good.
Yeah, I mean he knows those are the lords of each of the different races of giants.
Aren't there 6 of them?
Correct. Hecaton is the storm giant, king of all storm giants.
Oh, okay.
So these are the 5 other lords.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so it was his daughters led him astray. Okay, that was the last question. Okay, so where can we find King Hecaton?
Alright. This is hidden from me. His whereabouts currently unknown.
You just hear Ian, yeah, just Ian lets out it's a very unsatisfactory grunt.
Something is hiding his location.
Well, that probably means he's not dead. Did any of you guys think of another question?
Hey, he's got an amulet like me, probably. And I hold up my amulet.
Oh, that's probably right. Stupid. All right. Did you guys think of anything? We have one more.
I'm going to assume that we destroy the pieces of the
Evil
giant
machine.
thing inside the forge, but how do we destroy those pieces? Might be a good one.
Okay. Hi, it's me again. No. How do we destroy the pieces of the evil engine?
Dragon Colossus.
Dragon Colossus. From Duke Zalto's place. That sentence really got away from you guys.
Sorry to interrupt.
No problem.
The pieces can be destroyed upon a dwarven forge.
I'm just gonna go ahead. All dwarves know how to destroy things on the forge.
Well, it's true.
So that one's all up to you, Greybeard.
That was the last.
Yeah, that was the last one.
Last lantern has gone out.
Okay, so we need to figure out Parnas. Man, let me tell you, I'm gonna have to come back and rewatch this VOD. That was a lot of words that happened.
So as you guys exit the room again, yeah, I would think Harshnag would mention that we need to get a conch from one of the giants if you're to go to Hecaton's court.
I'm just going to assume that the giant lords just don't hand those out willy-nilly.
He nods in agreement that you are correct.
Does this Zalto have any relation to Duke Zalto? Is this the same Zalto?
Yes, it is. Duke Zalto is the leader of the fire giants.
There's only one Zalto.
Well, there we go.
And he will die by my hand.
I just imagine Nod under you being like, yeah, being your hype man.
That's the most emotion you've ever seen out of Finn.
I'm just like, yes, I agree. And with the death of Zalto, we acquire a conch.
I was about to suggest we go after the hill giant lord and take his conch. But, because they're smaller, see. But okay, Zolto it is.
Well, you know, 2 birds, 1 stone. Does the so the amulet, I don't remember. It's been such a long time. Greybeard, can you explain to me again what your amulet is?
Amulet of non-detection.
Just
You can't. Nobody can tell your alignment. They can't scry on you. You're basically invisible to that kind of information gathering.
And that's totally separate from the shard that gives you ice resistance, fire resistance, ice resistance, fire resistance,
fire resistance, and Coffee has the shard, the ice. IS.
You guys now have a shard of Ild, a fire shard.
Yeah, and the shard of Ild.
And Coffee would have been able to do a detect magic, yeah, while you guys are on your day.
Okay.
And
so
he is able to tell you about this. So I'll bring it up. So this one has a few abilities on it, just like the other one did. So as the rune itself, you can use an action to ignite an object. So it's like using the kind of like an ignite spell.
Yeah.
If you have this, you can have resistance to cold damage if it's held within your hand. Also, it has an ability called Fire Tamer. As an action, you can extinguish an open flame within 10 feet of you.
Sweet.
And this also has the ability that you can transfer this rune to another item. And if you... This is the type of rune he realizes, like the other one could be transferred to, I believe it was boots and something else. This one he believes can be transferred to a weapon or armor.
Ooh.
And if he were to complete that, he believes that the weapon would be able to deal fire damage, or the armor, if you were to place this rune on armor, it would give you resistance to cold damage.
Sweet.
Being a flaming sword.
He thinks something like that.
How about a
Isn't resistant to fire
warhammer?
damage? Cold damage.
Resistance to cold.
Damage? Cold, yeah.
If it's on a piece of armor.
Yeah.
And just like the other one, the rune will transfer. The shard will become just a piece of rock at that point.
No takesy backsies.
So you can either keep it as a shard and it does those 3 abilities, or you can change it and turn it into something else. This is what the giant's magic is mostly like. They use runes in this way to do the magic they have, for the most part.
Oh, and the breastplate.
Yeah, the when he detects magic on that is a golden breastplate that will... he realizes that it will reform to anybody's size that wants to wear it, and it is a... I'm just gonna let this go out there. I'll put this in the journals, or actually maybe just your guys's. So that would be Finn, Ian, Coffee, and Greybeard. So you can see that. It's a +2 breastplate.
God damn.
Cool.
So +2 to AC.
And it's a magic item then. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
All of these are magic items.
Gamer metagame questions. Maybe Coffee would know if we were to shard up this breastplate or a weapon, would it have to be attuned?
Yes.
Okay.
It requires a tuning.
The rune by itself doesn't need attuning? It probably does. It's a magic item. But one can hope.
Nope, it's just if it's on your person.
Oh, okay, so no attunement needed. Okay, that's good.
Oh, I'm sorry. It does say that. Requires attunement in parentheses. Sorry. It was italicized. Yep, that item would require attunement to use.
Okay, so all of the things we got today were attunement.
Let's see.
Attune. Let's see.
Does not look like the armor requires attunement. Anybody can wear it. It can be switched around. It does not look like it needs attunement.
Okay.
All right, so another day goes by and you're going to ask more questions, or what's happening?
Do we have any more questions?
Harshnag looks at you and says, well, you know the giant lords have the conches, but we don't know where the giant lords are.
I asked that question.
Ooh.
Then where can we find a giant lord with a magic conch? And it just said all of them have a magic conch.
We could.
Yeah, and he kind of, and Coffee looks at you and maybe says, the question was probably too vague. We need to be more specific.
There you go. We could.
Well, they all have magic conches.
We could ask which giant lord is closest and where is he? Or where is the closest giant lord?
I mean, at this point, we can ask where all of them, where 4 of them are, very specifically. You have the question.
Harshnag nods his head. Yes, you could. We need one of them. Which one do you feel like you're going to rip out of their hands?
Hopefully Zalto. That's sort of the goal. But I guess a backup plan doesn't hurt.
If we mention Zalto in that aspect, Finn's going to look to Harshnag and say, that's something that you would be required for, my friend. I do not think that our group, even in its full strength, is capable of tackling Zalto.
I think we can murder that man at around 8th, 10th level. Where are the giant lord's specific name? I'm keeping it like that until we think of more than 2 questions. Extra questions to ask.
All right, so you guys are going. So another day goes by. Again, no one disturbs the temple. You were not disturbed while you were in the Great Hall.
Oh, I meant to mention Harshnag and I tried to get the remores out where it'll freeze so the meat won't go bad and we can keep eating remores spicy ribs.
Okay. Well, okay, yeah. Any one of the rooms besides the
warm one.
Yeah, that's the only one that has any warmth to it.
And we asked this before, but just to make sure, the blood once the thing is dead is not on fire, right?
Of the what? The remores?
Of the remores.
No.
Okay.
All right. So, do we have any other questions aside from where the guild lord or the giant lords are? Sorry.
And Greybeard, I guess, would say this one, but he would kind of, try to say it out the side of his mouth without Harshnag's hearing. Where could we find a a good magic weapon to defeat the giants with. Like, a giant slayer.
I'm down to ask that question.
Look up at Harshnag and I say, "What of you, my friend? We are in the temple of your people. Is there nothing, no knowledge you seek?"
He says, I'm concerned to hear that his eldest daughters would conspire against Hecaton. I almost find that hard to believe. I wish I knew more about that.
All right. What specifically would you find disturbing about that? Just that it's his daughters, or that?
Yeah, that it just. Not that I've been summoned to the Storm King's court, but to hear that his daughters are vying for his crown, and why would that have broken the ordning? He seems troubled by.
Greed and lust for power is not limited only to the dwarves.
Damn. Shade.
Kind of a sick burn, though, because, well, I thought about digging up that mithril.
And humans.
And we know that
Humans,
Zalto is
humans.
building a dragon-slaying colossus. We do not know what the other lords are doing. I assume there are many questions.
God, we're gonna have to stay here. I was joking. We're gonna have to stay here a goddamn week at this rate. All right. So where can we find a powerful weapon that will aid us to kill powerful giants? Is that a good way to word that one?
I think so.
Coffee shakes his head and kind of says, I think that'll be too vague. There are probably millions of weapons in the world that could slay giants. It's not specific.
How about, is there a giant slaying weapon within our grasp?
Coffee just kind of waves around the room. None that I see.
Well, and in truth, we've killed giants. We may be the weapon of fate.
Greybeard says to cover you and your logic.
All right. So.
I gotta run upstairs and take care of an elf real quick. Okay. I'll be right back while we're still questioning, I would imagine.
Yeah. So why did the daughters... What do they do specifically? They misled. What is my question? Why did the daughters help overthrow King Hecaton? Is that a good way to word that?
Well, again, greed and a lust for power. It is not a trait shared by one or two races.
I agree.
Or maybe how? How did they do it?
Yeah, like how did they specifically mislead? How did the daughters help overthrow the King Hecaton? Alright. Man, had I known this is what we were going to do this session, I would have spent those 3 weeks thinking of these questions.
Really clever, unvague answers, that could be coming at us.
Yeah. Well, we might as well ask, what are the other giant lords cooking up. What?
Mischief and no good. I'm going to answer as a vague and annoying oracle will, because that's how oracles answer.
That is true.
See if Zalto is finding. Oh, how are they preparing to? Hey, chat. Hey, you guys watching? If you have a great way of wording these questions, feel free. It's an interactive experience, right? How did?
Unless you played Storm King's Thunder, then it would be cheating to tell our players what to do here.
Yeah, no, just help me word these questions. Don't tell me what happens or the answers. I don't need that. No spoilers, please. What is blank Giant's Lord preparing to destroy the little people, to take over the giants, to like what is Duke Zalto doing? What are the giants' plans is too specific. Well, what are their plans? God damn, there's only 2 people watching. What are they like? How would you describe what Duke Zalto is doing?
Well, Duke Zalto is forming a giant engine of destruction. You know, I could just see him rampaging down from the north and crushing all of the resistance and the elves and the dwarves that are south of him. Because he's not being held in check by the ordning.
What is blank Giant Lord preparing now that the ordering is broken? What evil thing? What bad thing? Those are all relative. What weapons? Because weapons can be anything, right? What?
Yep.
Ordering is broken.
All right, you ready to walk back in or what?
About which of the giant races could we turn to for aid?
Races.
What's an oracle going to tell us? It's going to see into the future?
1, 2, 4, 8. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm probably just going to ask them where they are anyway. So.
Of course, you know he's going to say, clearly frost giant. You have one standing next to you.
Yeah,
freaking oracles, man. Yeah.
Yeah, we walk back in, Lucian. Might as well.
Okay.
We have way more than 6 questions.
All right. Begin to step into the circle. Whoever's going to ask their questions.
Crazily enough, exactly where I'm standing right now. How did the daughters of King Hecaton help overthrow King Hecaton?
Nice question. I like it.
Through guile and deceit.
Yeah, can't wait.
So how did they do it is what you were asking.
How did the daughters help overthrow? Yeah. Best way to cook remorse meat.
The sisters plotted with an ancient dragon.
Oh shit. Sorry. Not gonna give any specific names, huh?
And that is all.
There are a lot of ancient dragons out there. Vague as fuck, Oracle.
And actually, you see Harshnag kind of stride forward, because that was a pretty good question. And he enters the circle to ask a question.
Scoot over a little bit, give him room.
Yeah. He seems distraught with that answer now that he's heard that there's a dragon. wait a minute, what's going on? And then he asks the oracle, he says, why would the daughters turn against their father? And then we hear the thunder once again. And the oracle mentions when the ordning was shattered, King Hecaton tried to divine what to do and who should lead the court. In that divining, he was told that his 2 eldest daughters were unfit to rule. And then Harshnag kind of steps back out of the circle. There are 4 lanterns still lit.
All right. Well, as long as that's off his chest. Which giant race can we turn to for aid when in times of trouble?
Only the giants who have aligned themselves with good would seek to help you in any of your endeavors.
Oh, I'm glad I asked that question. Aligned with... I don't have to write that one then. All right. What nefarious plot is... Hold on. A giant lord Ka'FeyBlak preparing now that the ordning is broken?
To obliterate the works of the surface worlders.
All right, not a happy person is Ka'FeyBlak, as we've learned.
That is just so you know, that is the stone giant leader.
Stone giant. How many questions do I have left?
2.
2.
Finn will ask from the side, what's the name of that dragon they're getting their help from?
Ooh, good question. What giant... Nope, wrong. What ancient... Because we're talking about dragons. Ancient dragon aided the eldest daughters of King Hecaton to overthrow King Hecaton.
Oh, there you go. Now you're getting there. A great evil named Limrith, a blue dragon in the guise of a storm giant.
Oh, shit. Limrith?
Lymrith. And yeah, Harshnag gets super agitated at this point.
Storm giant, you said?
Near Fury. Yep. Guise of a storm giant. Yep.
We have one more, right? Or was that the last one?
One more.
I really don't want to ask where they are, because it's not like we can really go up against an ancient dragon. But we should probably just know, just in case, right?
10 feet from you. No, just kidding. Breaking down the door.
God,
He's
can you
been
imagine?
in the room the whole time. I put one in from chat.
Where?
Specific giant lord's plans.
Oh, I've asked one.
Oh, okay.
We only have one question left. I asked Kaya. They said destroy the land of the little people. And I was like, well, that's not great.
Finn will ask, does Hecaton want to be restored? Because, his daughters tried to kill him. Does he really want to come back?
It's a very thin question.
All right, that's the question you ask. Yes, Hecaton wishes to see the succession of his youngest daughter, Sarissa, take the throne. Serissa. And that is all of the lanterns are out.
I wonder if the sisters knew that they were working with an ancient dragon, or if they thought they were just working with a bad storm giant.
There's only one way to find out. Jump
Tomorrow.
up on Nod and I'm going to ride out.
Let's go!
You need to meet this guy called Blaze. Blaze Emberheart.
What nefarious scheme is blah 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 cooking up? Yeah. I mean, we could ask that for the last 3 giants. Because we already know what Duke Zalt is doing. Hecaton is God knows where. Kaya is just setting up to destroy small people.
Just going to assume they're all up to no good.
I mean, one can hope that at least one of them is doing a good thing, right? Because they're not all bad aligned, right?
Right. And then there's Zephyrus, the storm giant we met earlier.
Cloud
Again,
giant.
Cloud.
Power and political machinations are the same, no matter your height.
I'm gonna hope that one of them is trying.
All right, so we have
I mean,
another
we could-
day go by. You guys have decided you still have a couple more questions. So we'll fast forward onto our 4th day.
Might as well.
And then you re-enter the Oracle room again as the 6 lanterns are lit.
What nefarious plan does Sansuri, Giant Lord Sansuri, have plotted?
Sansuri seeks a lost trove of dragon magic.
Alright, not bad. Who haven't we asked? What nefarious plan is Giant Lord Ga planning? Say it is, it's G-U-H.
Ga wishes to become the biggest giant the world has ever seen.
Which giant is this one?
Hill, is it?
Yeah. And you would know that, Ian, that the more giant hill giants get bigger, the more they eat.
Oh, that's great.
And that's how their
So-
whole society is based on who is the biggest.
Alright, that makes me feel not great. Sansuri was the...
That's 4 lanterns remain lit.
Sansuri was... So Kaya was the stone, Ga is the hill, Zalto is the fire, Sansuri is the cloud?
Yes.
Well, that makes me feel sad. What nefarious plan is Storvald up to? Sorry, Harshnag. Sorry, what nefarious scheme is Storvald planning? Now that the ordning has broken. Sort of got lazy with it.
Storvald wishes to bring about the age of everlasting ice.
I was really just hoping one of these would be good, you know? Like, the answer would be like none. Nothing. They have only good things planned. Not too much to ask.
3 lanterns remain.
Alright. So, we know where Hecaton is. We know where blah 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 is.
You
I
don't know where Hecaton is.
I mean,
But
we
you
know that we
asked and
don't know.
Yeah, you asked, but and it was not able to answer. He was hidden.
Yeah, I step out of the circle and I ask Harshnag, do you know where Storvald, your giant lord, is? Sorry, not yours, the storm giant lord is?
I would not know. He could be raiding. He could be within one of our cities. He could be at... I'm not sure where his current location would be.
Okay.
We could find out, but I mean, he doesn't know it off, right now at this point. He would have to talk to more of his clan.
Yeah, my next one is just to ask where each of these guys are. So, unless you have another question thought up, that's going to be my last round of questions, just where they are.
I think those are fine.
Go ahead.
Does Limrith have a... I was going to say a dragon foe, a counter,
nemesis?
a nemesis? Who would help us in that? What is there a dragon that would help us in that fight against Limrith?
Yeah.
No, that could be anyone. Every gold will.
Is there someone seeking to destroy Limrith?
Well, we kind of are.
What if we all say right now, guys, that we don't plan to kill him, and then we get the correct answer? Is there someone... Does anybody else know that... Is anybody else working with Limrith?
Is that your question?
Is there
No.
a dragon of power that you could... Finn's sitting in the corner scratching his head trying to think of a way to phrase that.
Yeah. Is there a nemesis to Limrith? Is someone seeking to destroy Limrith? Is there someone...
Which dragon would aid us in the fight against Limrith? Or aid us in countering Limrith? I'm trying to get specific.
Would aid us in defeating Limrith? Specifically...
It's like making a contract with the devil.
Please spell the name of the dragon that will help us from Limrith.
Yeah, which dragon? Could you spell it out for us? We're a little bit of hard of hearing. Let's see, which dragon would aid us in defeating Limrith? Do we want specifically a dragon? Defeating Limrith.
I don't know. Not to offend you, Harshnag, but is that something you would want to fight? Would any giant want to fight a ancient blue dragon by themselves? It would seem the best way to counter a dragon is with another dragon.
Especially after finding out that that's why they...
Yeah, he kind of gives you a look that no giant would seek the help of another dragon to deal with the dragons. Our peoples have fought for thousands of years. Giants know how to fight dragons.
Would you guys be angry if we revealed an ancient dragon was used to overthrow Hecaton? Would that cause a lot of...
I'm sure that would throw the
anger?
The Storm Court into disarray were it to be known.
How about this? Our word will never be enough.
Yeah.
How can we prove Limrith interfered and helped Mirren and Nim overthrow Hecaton? How do we prove it? What do we get
That's amazing.
to convince the giants that they've been bamboozled?
How can you prove to the giant lords that Limrith interfered and helped overthrow King Hecaton?
Because I mean, it would just be our word against his. He could be like, this is out of character, Grimmer Wormtongue. I mean, you could walk in and say, that guy's clearly a bad influence. Why is he next to you, whispering in your ear? And they would be like, because he's my friend. And then they kill us all.
Harshnag actually, would nod to that. I mean, they will most likely not take your word, nor they may not even take mine.
We bring them to the Oracle. No, okay. So I ask, how can we prove to the giant lords that Limerith, the ancient dragon, interfered and helped overthrow King Hecaton?
That's your question?
Yeah, Finn's proud of that. He's looking very, very happy in the corner that he's getting to contribute to this.
And Coffee's all like elf pride.
Elf pride, man.
It says, speak to Sarissa, his youngest daughter. She has a clue to her father's whereabouts, and she needs your help.
All right, quest giver. Mr. Sarissa. She has proof.
And a large orange or yellow question mark atop her.
Yeah, oddly enough.
Exclamation turns to question. Oh.
She has proof. And needs our help. Is that like on the time limit, or do we got time? I guess the next one would be like, where do we find her, right? Where to find Sarissa?
Good call.
In the dungeons of Duke's Alto. Come on. Come on.
I know, right? Just like everything in this game is just like, go to the forge and destroy it, okay?
That's just Finn. Again, he's got vengeance on the brain.
Where can we find Sarissa, the youngest daughter of King Hecaton?
In Maelstrom.
In Maelstrom. I look at Harshnag. Does that ring any bells?
Maelstrom is where the court of the Storm Giants resides.
And where is that, Harshnag?
Far out to the sea. It is a floating city. The only way to get there, or the easy way to get there, would be the Conch. Other ways to get there, if we even knew where it was, we would have a storm giant would have to tell us and bring us there.
Okay, next question. What level should we be when we hand over?
Dude, I so wanted to ask that earlier. It was like, how many side quests do we need to do before we go to the court?
I know, like how many more, like on a scale of like 1 to 1,000, how many fire giants should we kill before we're ready to go, you know? Was that the last question for today?
No, you have 4 lanterns still lit.
Oh god. Sorry, it all just like blends together.
If we were in a hurry, I think asking where the nearest conch would make sense, but I think we should regroup at this point. We're clearly not going to go charging off and attack whichever storm giant lord owns the the conch.
Should we just ask where the rest of these guys are at the time? Because we have 4 questions left. Here's 4 of them. Well, if you think of anything, we have tomorrow.
I would ask questions that would pertain to us if we were to choose a giant lord. How best to defeat them? Are there any weaknesses?
Okay.
Things like that.
How can we best defeat Duke Zalto? Is that what you're asking me to ask?
I mean, we know where the hill giant lord is, right? Or we
don't know where any of the giant lords are.
A close thereabouts because we've already met a hill giant.
You have no idea where the giant lords are.
Okay, where can we find Kyalithica? I don't remember. Where can we find Kyalithica, the giant lord? Let's see how out of our realm these are.
Thunder crashes. The lights flicker. And they crash once again. You've asked many questions of the Oracle.
Oh, god damn it. Alright.
First, you must prove yourself. When human barbarians came to these lands, they fought our kind and stole our relics, burying them in the ground. The humans built altars to Uthgar, their god king, atop these relics, and surrounded their altars with burial mounds. Go to these mounds, retrieve one or more of our lost relics, and bring them here as tribute. Do this, and your path will be made clear. There are many paths you can take. The more relics you deliver, the more paths you will have to choose from. Several evil giant lords stand ready to oppose you. You can ruin all of their plans by defeating just one of them. Which one that is remains to be seen. And all of the lanterns go out.
Did the Oracle just tell me that in order to continue this, I have to kill some Uthgar barbarians?
Pretty sure that's
Ian definitely got that out of that translation.
That is the most validating thing that has ever happened to me.
The rest of you would have heard, and I'll put this in there so that you guys can not try to remember that whole thing I just read.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, all I got down was human barbarians. Then you said destroy, and that was the last thing I heard. I was like, I'm down. I got you. Good plan. Did burial grounds overtop giant artifacts, retrieve them, prove yourself. It's like we ran out of money and just the fortune thing just won't tell us anything else.
Go on, kid, get out of here.
Yeah. Burns, burial grounds, overtop giant artifacts, retrieve them, prove yourself. Ask more questions? Was that the win? Give things, get things back. Destroy things, you can destroy them. Oh, you wrote it down.
Yeah, I just cut and pasted into my notes. I have an idea. I will paste it right into the SKT chat.
Throw it over on the Facebook. That's probably the place it won't get lost.
Can't get to Facebook from this machine. I mean,
what?
I don't know how. I hate Facebook. But I'll take it from there and put it there at Facebook when I get to a different machine.
All right, I will log into Facebook and do that myself. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
So
all right.
So you exit the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
You see Harshnag replace the axe on the correct giant statue. And he says to you that you must find these relics, bring them back so that you will know how to proceed. I must stay here to protect this temple until you return.
Is that Harshnag that just told us that?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, you know. Sure.
It makes me sad, ex-bro. Nice.
He kind of looks and he says, had there not been already a group of Uthgar barbarians trying to beat down the doors, maybe this place could have been left unoccupied. But I worry that while you were gone, that if they were to break into this temple, that you would not be able to restore the relics, and then find the information you seek, and all would be lost. I must protect this temple till you return.
A noble gesture.
I clang axes with him. Take care.
I nod at him. I don't exactly remember what my relationship with Harshnag was at this point. Alright, well.
Phew. It was heavy.
I don't know where to I feel like I know less and yet a little bit more about what we're supposed to do. Well, if anything's clear, it's to like destroy Duke's Alto.
Actually, while you're saying that, he kind of sees that. So the relics are buried. So human burial altars, and Harshnag actually knows quite a bit about the Uthgar. So he is able to.
Oh, give me all that information. Shower it over me. Give it to me. I'm so willing.
Let me find it here.
It's like destroy the people who have no conscience. Let's do it.
Let us share something with you.
Because giants are supposed to be bad. Giants are bad too, right? Like,
there are a couple that are good aligned. 4 of the 6 are evil, I think, aligned.
Let me. Do you want me to tell you the nefarious plans these guys have?
Yeah, but within each of them, obviously there would be good and bad also.
Much like the Uthgar barbarians.
Yeah.
And the elves of the Great Forest.
All right, so he scrawls out a map for you.
Oh, sweet. Don't have to write anything down.
So that you can know where the different burial mounds are.
Okay.
Also, yeah, Harshnag knows the names and locations of all 9 spirit nouns. So you have a list of all. There's 9 that you can choose from.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully it should be in your handout now so that you can see it.
Oh, there it is. Yep. And this is the Sword Coast that I'm looking at.
Yeah, you should recognize it.
Oh yeah, there we go. I saw the UR here. Really helped.
Nice.
Well, you can even see the grandfather tree down in the bottom right, which you recognize.
Oh, yeah. There's Everland, Silvery Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what that is. Okay, so the X's are the places where there's a thing.
The thing he doesn't know is what relics are buried at which mound. So he doesn't know which relic is from which giant lord.
Okay, so the closest one is in the Great Worm Cavern. Oh, that sounds promising. Oh, there's one south of Marabar, which is actually a direction we should be going. Here's one near Duke Zalto's place, near Citadel Felabar. There's one by Tribor and Yartar, which is the place we should be heading towards too, Flint Rock. There's a grandfather tree, which let me tell you, totally down. I don't mind making the 100-day trek to get down there.
Well, we gotta look at our teleport circles too and see if there's anything that makes sense.
Yeah, well, there's one in Everland, Silvery Moon, one of those two.
And Mirabar. We can get there quickly.
Yeah.
The sending stones that we have been given so that we could talk to the other party.
Mm-hmm.
What was the limit on that that message?
You were able to message once per day.
We should probably bust that out and see where those guys are.
And tell them to head to the Great Worm Cavern.
No idea. They're about 30 days behind.
Or Mirabar. And then we can go anywhere at that point once we have access to the circles.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to contact them, and
Not that I wouldn't mind just the 3 or 4 of us wandering into something called Great Worm Cavern, but I'd rather do it with 6 or 7 of us versus 4.
That's why I said have them meet us there.
They're all the way near Tribor, Greybeard.
So,
It's a bit of a trek.
as you're talking to them, they are in Long Saddle.
We have any idea how big Mirabar is?
You guys would probably have to do like a history check to see if you've been up there.
Traveling man. Traveling half elf.
I would probably only know by word of mouth how large that place is.
Yeah, Greybeard's not been there. Finn, yep, you've been there before. You know it to be the richest city in the north by far. Sits atop a knoll on the north side of the Mirar River, like an unassailable fortress, enclosed on all sides by sloped outer walls, wide at the base, many city blocks in Waterdeep. It's big.
Oh, that sounds like a perfect place to kick our feet up while we wait for our companions to join us.
Mm-hmm.
And I need a bath. He does.
Well, sure, let's head out. Let's head towards Mirabar. That was our plan anyways. It was nice traveling with you, Harshnag. May we meet again.
Yeah, he kind of delicately shakes each of your hands or pats you on the shoulder, and he kind of has a respectful look on his face. He says, I've seen how you work together. I've seen what you can do. I'm sure we will be seeing each other soon again. I have faith in you.
Coffee, basically, does a little flourish and bow. And then Greybeard is almost verklempt. He's like, X bros. And he clangs his axe on Harshnag's. And then just stomps off into the snow.
All right, yeah. So you guys exit the temple. And you begin to head a little bit south, and you're maybe 3 or 4 miles from the entrance of the temple when everybody do a perception check. Or I guess I should do passive, but
I mean, take the 16 or the 20, whichever one you want.
yeah, I'll take your guys' passive. What's your guys' passives? So
20.
Ian's is 20. Yep.
16.
16,
9.
13.
39. Nice.
Your passive is 9?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
That's a
Right
negative
here.
wisdom.
So Ian spies out in the distance. You see a strange vehicle hangs in the sky overhead. It seems to be slowly drifting closer. It looks like a small ship with sleigh runners held aloft by a giant red balloon.
Fire arrows.
It's kind of above you guys, and you notice rope ladders are kind of thrown over the side of the ship. And it's about 50 feet off the ground. And you can see what appear to be crewmen kind of waving at you from on the ship.
Sure, let's go right up it. I'm sure nothing horrible is going to happen, and rather it's going to take us exactly where we want.
That kind of positive attitude that's going to make you go someplace.
That's the spirit.
Right. That a girl.
Greybeard puts a dagger in his teeth before he starts climbing, though.
Start climbing the ropes.
Uh-huh.
I'm just going to sit there on waiting for them to hail.
Well, they hailed. They
And they waved at us.
So you're not climbing?
Give me something better than
Are
that.
you climbing or not?
Ow! I'm not climbing up into some strange ship.
Right,
I'll
but
shut
I'm
up.
saying is anybody else?
Oh,
They
Greybeard.
ignored you.
Yeah.
I was already up there.
All right. So so we see Ian and Greybeard climbing the rope ladders. Doesn't take you too long to get up there, and as you get up there, you see. Does it give me an actual physical description?
Is this
Okay.
an actual thing? This isn't something you just inserted. It's an actual thing.
You see 8 members on the deck, male
Oh,
and
okay.
female humans. They're all wearing black leather armor and black leather masks.
Oh, we are about to die. All right, it's fine.
No,
Go
we're
ahead.
about to get an airship. Cracks his knuckles.
You see one of the members walk forward and bow to you, and introduces herself as Delphine. And then through kind of like the mask that they have on, and you can do a history check to see if you recognize who these people are.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Yeah, you've not wandered into these people before. So Delphine, who's bowed, says, "We come to you on behalf of Clouth, the great dragon of the north, whose lands you are in. Clouth offers you this vessel and our services as a gift so that you may cross his vast domain while avoiding the many perils of the land below. War against the giants is inevitable." And kind of says the word giants with a sneer. "But the great dragon commands you forge ahead and face your destiny. The ordering of the giants is broken, and they are not united. Slay their leaders, and you may yet prevail. If you succeed in quelling the giant threat, Clouth bids you come to his hidden veil so that he can reward your bravery." And she kind of graciously, or makes kind of a grandiose opening of the arms to present the ship to you.
Okay.
And that's where we'll end for tonight.
Oh, awesome.
Thanks for not abandoning me, Finn. I would not do that to you, my friend. They clearly just bailed.
Greybeard
It's okay. I love you.
We'll send down a basket. It'll be fine.
Greybeard leans over the side. I told you, free airship.
I can't climb a rope ladder, you stinking dwarf.
I'll pull you up.
It's a good thing Finn can summon and unsummon his mount, though.
How dare.
That's no fun for me, though.
Cargo net.
All right, so that's. I think we need one last thunder.
There we go.
I think we're good. As we leave the temple, And we end our session for tonight as our players have boarded an airship. Actually, did Coffee go up with you guys, or would he have stayed down with...
He would have stayed with Finn.
Okay.
Finn's his pal.
The sad lion.
God, a flying nod. That's all I need in my life. There we go. Problem solved.
Nod does have visions of flying.
Yeah.
Power of the airship.
This could be a good thing for Nod. Maybe he needs to be up in the air for a bit.
Finn will dismiss Nod.
And go up?
With a tear and go up.
Okay, give me... let's see if you or Coffee recognize these people.
Cool.
With a last roll of the dice before we end our episode. History checks. Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, Coffee recognizes them. Finn? Nope.
Just some dude in a mask, and I don't
Finn.
trust guys in masks.
Finn ain't been reading no books.
What you trying to hide?
As they show you and tour you around the airship, and they begin to turn the airship south as they listen to where you want to go next. Coffee kind of pulls you guys aside for a moment and says, "These are cultists of the dragon." So it's a cult of the dragon cultists. They wear black, and they wear leather masks over their faces so you can't see them.
Or they were horribly burned by acid or something like that.
Yeah, they're definitely always... they're the type of cult that tries to help the dragons with their plans and such, hoping to garner their favor. So, all right. Well, when we come back, we'll find out more about the airship and the cult and where they're actually going to go. We also, on Thursday, we're going to play the other team and get them caught up. And it sounds like our team is going to try to meet back up at somewhere, Mirabar or wherever the airship can get them to. And then they can decide how they're going to retrieve some relics so the Oracle will tell them where the conches are currently located. So you got to do a quest before you can do your second quest. So it's pretty good.
We have a ton of quests.
So, all right. I think that's where we end tonight's session. Thanks, everybody, for joining and hanging out. We will be back for our session not next Monday, which is, I want to say, the 5th. So we will be back the 12th, I think. Does that sound right?
Sounds right.
Yeah, the 12th. And then hopefully every Monday after that we'll be playing. We're going to switch back to the every Monday night gaming goodness for Storm King's Thunder. So, all right. I see Sonic Blade's still out there. Oh, he likes the lightning. I made sure I kept it nice and loud. But if you missed the episode, you can go ahead and catch it on YouTube. I'll be posting it pretty soon. This was episode 54. Thanks for joining. Make sure you check out Greybeard's Tavern on Twitch and YouTube. Make sure you check out PB Plays Inside on Twitch and YouTube also. You can check out my channel at SirLucien on Twitch and YouTube also. Thanks for showing. I see Difam 1994 is taking off too. So thanks for coming by. Hopefully we'll see you again. Keep an eye out on the channel. We'll have lots more games for everybody to play in. So have a good night, and we will see you in the next one.